I realized I can be impatient. Yeah, I think because we knew that when we were going there, we were supposed to reach out to like the campus students, right? So I was like, every campus student I saw, I was like, go for it, like talk to them. And then I think there was this day where I reached out to like 2 different girls. Both of them told me like, sorry, like God's not for me.
I remember evangelizing to the bartenders as well as just me at the gym or even at the tattoo shop where I would try to like, okay, you know, I remember going into places I'll tell God like, it's you, it's me, like somehow, some way, like before I leave this place, like I will talk to one person about God.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Lucas. I'm currently 23 years old. I'm 9 years old as a disciple. Currently, I'm not studying, but I am interning as a digital marketing as well as PR in a company called Republic.
Okay, hi, I'm Sharlene. I am 23 years old. I'm currently doing my uni. I'm in campus. I'm a nursing student. Yeah, and I recently went to Thailand for a mission trip.
Yeah, of course there were expectations. I think prior to going this trip, I was a little bit nervous in terms of language barrier. For somebody that can't even speak their native mother tongue language, I was a bit worried that, you know, if I go to Thailand or rather Bangkok, I would not be able to communicate to anybody and that my Bible studies would be all in like drawings and like hand signs.
We knew that we were going there to reach out to mainly like the campus students. So I think a lot of times I was just thinking about what was the best way to reach out to them, what would attract them. And I think just trying to anticipate, I think not so much expectations, but just anticipating how people will react to me, especially with like the language barrier. Yeah. So I think just going into it, I was just, I guess, afraid that we wouldn't be able to connect with people well. Yeah, so that was the expectations.
I think for the most part, I've only learned like 3 words in Thai, despite spending 1 month there, and that is Sawadi Krap, Kapung Krap, and Chamanao Yen, which means lemon tea. And that's purely because the people that we reached out to could speak English, so thank God. So when I went there, I was quite shocked that, you know what, like I didn't even need to worry about speaking Thai or like learning how to speak like complicated words like sin, Jesus, God, you know. I could just speak exactly like how I'm speaking right now.
In terms of like connecting with people, I think it was so much easier than I thought, because the Thai people are really very sweet, very kind, very friendly. So I think it was easy to like communicate with them, to like just talk to them, reach out to them. Yeah, I think one of the most memorable things I had when I was there was actually rooming with 3 other sisters in the same room, and then we had like a lot of like nonsense talk and also a lot of fun, just chit-chatting one another. And I think I got really close to all 3 of them. One of the memorable memories that I really had was when we went to Pattaya. So we had 1 day off whereby we went on a trip together to another part of Thailand, and then we were in the ocean. And then we just held hands together and we just like kept spinning around in the ocean, and then we just like prayed together and just was so in awe of like the fact that we were in Thailand and serving. I think more so for her, because she came from the US, so she came like really far. But I think just being in awe that that we were serving together and doing God's work, and that we were literally in the ocean. Yeah, so that was cool.
Finding every opportunity to talk about God, whether it's me at the bookstore or me at the bar, or I remember evangelizing to the bartenders as well as just me at the gym or even at the tattoo shop where I would try to like, okay, you know, I remember going into places I'll tell God like, it's you, it's me, like somehow, some way, like before I leave this place, like I will talk to one person about God, and all the time it happens.
Most challenging thing, I think most challenging would be like seeing God's plan through it all.
I think would be having lack of faith.
Because I knew that I was very motivated and I knew that I wanted to do mission, so I was very ready to like serve and to reach out to people. Like I said, I like did my own prep and stuff to like even tried. I already started like translating like Bible studies or like the way that I want to reach out to people to Thai language already. So I was very prepared to share.
I think when we were meeting so many different people, we were trying to keep up with everybody. And as great as that was, it was also like, gosh, like I'm on a time stamp, I'm on a time crunch. Like if I don't keep up with this person today, if I don't push for the study, if I don't arrange for spend time, that's one day lesser for me to reach out.
But I think the challenging part was seeing like God's plan in it all and not relying on my own strength. Yeah, because I think there was one specific day where I think I was just trying to like give a lot and I like set a whole day of appointments. I think I was meeting like 5 people like back to back the entire day from like morning 10:30, 11 until like in the evening time. And I think towards the end of the day I just felt very limited and I felt very like tired and I couldn't give anymore even though I was still gonna meet people after I felt that way. Yeah, I think it's like learning how to like pace myself and see like God's plan in it all. Or yeah, I think as humans like we can only do so much, but when we are tired and we rely on our own selves, like are we really still like preaching God's word and like sharing the best that we can and letting people know about God in the best capacity. Yeah.
My last Bible study was with Sharlene actually. And I remember we were walking back, we were feeling a little bit disheartened. And then we were just talking about how we felt very faithless, or rather we felt very helpless, where we are down to 2 weeks. This guy or this girl that we are studying the Bible with has made progress, but not the progress that we were expecting. And then I remember we were just talking about it, and we were sharing our hearts out about how we always feel that like, yes, we understand it's God's timing and that ultimately we're there to please Him and not anybody else. But we were constantly thinking like, gosh, like what about tomorrow? Like, what if like by the time we go back to Singapore, Bible studies just stop, the person doesn't get baptized, this whole trip's like a waste. So I think that was one of the challenge, and we just had to constantly remind ourselves to like snap out of it. So yeah. What I learned about God, and it's nothing new, but I think it's more so like I finally got to experience it better. So I think being a kingdom kid, I think everybody teaches you that God is ever present, God can be found everywhere. So maybe it's because of me being a kingdom kid, or maybe it's because we live in Singapore, but it's just something that is not easily grasped. Like the idea of it, but you don't really actually see it. But I think being in Bangkok, seeing God and feeling God was so easy. It could be from your conversation with people, could be when you literally just step out of your room and then you see like the nature. It could also just be seeing the progress in the Bible studies or having like difficult conversations, especially when people you're studying Bible with are from different religion, different doctrine, and they ask you like tough questions, and you would panic, but then you see God in like the conversation, like answers that you don't really know of kind of just like pops up, and you answer it, and like it makes an impact. But at the end of the Bible study, like when people ask you like, how do you answer that? I always tell them like, I have no idea. Like that is truly like the Holy Spirit, that was truly God.
I think there was this day where I reached out to like 2 different girls. Both of them told me like, sorry, like God's not for me, and I think in my heart I was just questioning myself like why are their hearts closed off? Because wasn't the whole intention to like reach out to like the campus there and to make disciples of all nations . But then when it didn't happen, I would question God like why why did you like close off their hearts? Yeah, so I think it was about my own self, I realized that I can be impatient. But I think towards the end of the trip, or as the days go by, I realized that God really takes His own time. And that's why I learned about God, that everything happens in God's timing, where He may close certain doors for certain people. But I think it's not so much like closing doors, but it's just that it's not their time yet in a sense. Whereas there are other people that we can still actively reach out to, that God has placed in our life and placed in my life to reach out to at that particular instant. Yeah, so I think it's like a seasons thing where we really have to like look out for God's timing instead of like looking for our own timing and wanting to do it our own way. I would say just do it. Yeah, I think for me, I think it's a bit different for me because I knew I wanted to do it and I feel like God called me to do it. I think even if God places any remote feeling or any thought in your heart, or plant any sort of seed in your heart to want to do like missions, or even not just missions, but like go into a different country to serve and to share the word, you know, like just go. Yeah, I feel like you never know until you try. Because I think I thought about missions in one way, but I think when I went for it, I saw God in a different way, and I saw God in different ways that I wouldn't have otherwise seen Him. Yeah, so I would say just go and try. You never know how God may use that opportunity to like open up your heart and open other doors for you.
For me, when I was deciding whether I should go or not, I remember a thought going through my head, which was, you know, I'm not exactly the most spiritual at this point. I'm not at my prime or my peak. But, you know, I've always fell back to a certain spiritual motto that I've always told myself, which was that, you know, to be a Christian is to go towards discomfort. And if I'm going towards discomfort, then all the more like I should go. So my statement or my words to the people who wants to go is to definitely just go, especially if you don't feel like you're spiritually ready, all the more go, because you know the Bible has countless of stories where God takes somebody who is seemingly weak, both spiritually or physically, and has made drastic impacts from them. So if you feel like you're not the person, you feel like somebody else is better, all the more go, because you never know what God is going to do for you or through you.